Welcome to Shelby Podcast, a production of Shelby Systems Media. And now here's your host, Don Alsop.
Zig Ziglar is a true American icon. He is the author of 27 books, has shared the platform with Presidents Ford, Reagan, and Bush, General Norman Schwarzkopf, Secretary of State Colin Powell, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and the late Paul Harvey. On June 5th, he will be speaking at the International Shelby Conference in Dallas, Texas. Joining us right now is Zig Ziglar and his daughter, Julie Ziglar Norman. It's a real honor to be talking with you both.
Well, for us, it's not only an honor, but it's a delight thrown in.
You have lived a very inspiring and full life. Could you briefly share with us some of your background today?
Well, I was born in Alabama and raised in Mississippi. Had the good fortune to have a very wise mother, and she taught all of her children, I'm the 10th of 12, with a little sermonette, tell the truth and tell it ever. Costeth what it will. For he who hides the wrong he did does the wrong thing still. That resonated with me all of my life. I've remembered that, and always when I'm making a decision, is it really the truth? Is it really the right way to go? And because of that, we've had just a wonderful life.
So how did you become interested in public speaking?
Well, I heard a speaker. His name was Bob Bale, and this was many years ago, and I had never heard or seen anybody with so much enthusiasm, so much knowledge, so much everything. And so when the seminar was over, I managed to get his attention, and we talked quite a little while, and I asked him how I could do what he was doing, and Mr. Bale was very kind, very optimistic, and spent quite a little bit of time with me telling me the process for me to go through.
You have written a number of books, including your autobiography that was published back in 2002. What has been your most successful book? Which one is your favorite and why?
Well, See You at the Top was the first book I wrote, and it turned out to be the most productive book. And it was just such a privilege to hear the feedback from so many people that, that really gave me a lot of encouragement.
I know that you've told many inspirational stories over the years. Could you possibly share a short one with us today that might be relevant for the challenges that people are facing right now?
Well, I just would encourage that individual to follow one old quote, and that is, this too shall pass. And I encourage you, don't worry. Worry really inhibits your success. I can honestly say to you that I never worry. And the reason is the education my mother gave me to always tell the truth and do the right thing. So that leaves me with nothing to worry about.
Julie Ziglar Norman is going to be interviewing Zig Ziglar during the closing session at ISC 2009. Julie, can you give us a preview of some of the topics you'll be covering and what we can expect to hear?
I sure can. We're going to be talking about embracing the struggle. This stems from initially Dad's fall that he had a few years ago and how that changed his life and how he is applying all of the things he's taught through the years to his own life, and he's a great example of how his philosophy works. We'll be talking about there are many different kinds of struggle, financial, economic, personal, but we're going to also cover teamwork, passion for excellence, integrity, personal accountability, the stinking thinking and checkups from the neck-ups, and it'll be a real Zig Ziglar-packed motivational time for everyone.
Mr. Ziglar, what would you say are the key components of your personal philosophy?
Well, this is America. They can believe what they want to believe, but I'm absolutely convinced, based on so much experience, I still, to this stage of my life, read over 3 hours a day. Right now, right in front of me, I got a book. Matter of fact, I got 3 books, and they're all good ones. I'd always be preparing myself with good information and be a constant reader so you can always have a different impact for different people when you've got some knowledge that you just learned that will make a difference in your life, and you can communicate that to the other person so they will have some more optimism. Optimism is so important. For example, a lot of people are complaining about the situation in our society today. Well, I want to encourage that person that if they will think about it for a moment, a lot of people are not even trying now. That gives those of us who really are interested in success and doing the right thing, we have more opportunities than ever before.
Before you go, Mr. Ziglar, is there any one piece of timeless wisdom or advice that you would like to share with our audience?
I always like to share the fact that we are Americans. We have our freedom, but I'm always believing and talking about that home court advantage. In athletics, they do that a lot. What happens at home is so important, but I've had the home court advantage all of my life through a very wise mother and a lady who was the fifth smartest in a class of 400 people in her situation when she was in school, and I start every day telling her how pretty she is and how much she has meant to me. Make certain you have the home court advantage. Treat your family right. Do the right thing in the community, and you have a much better chance of having a significantly successful life.
Thanks to both of you for taking the time to talk to us today. I know the Shelby family is going to be very excited to meet you and get to shake your hand and get your autograph, maybe buy one of your books, and we just really look forward to seeing you at ISC coming up this June in Dallas, Texas.
We certainly are looking forward to that as well.
Friday, June the 5th is your chance to meet and be inspired by the legendary Zig Ziglar. It's not too late to join us. Just click the link on our podcast webpage for all the details. Don't miss our next program where we will be talking with Arena Account Manager Mark White. Before we go, here is our inspirational quote for the day from Philippians 4:6. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God.
You've been listening to Shelby Podcast with your host, Don Alsop. Shelby Podcast is a copyrighted production of Shelby Systems Media and can be heard online at shelbyinc.com/podcast, or you can download the program, copy it to your iPod or MP3 player, and listen at your convenience. Shelby Podcast is also available on iTunes. Make sure you click the RSS link so that you get each new show automatically. Thanks for listening, and tune in next time for another Shelby Podcast.